to direct to review. This is Celeste.
That was a little lackluster.
Oh, sorry.
But you know
It's
what?
my first time.
Everyone's first time is difficult, I know.
Shut your face.
But yes, welcome to yet another episode. If you've even listened to any other episodes, if you haven't, welcome.
Hi.
Just welcome in general.
Good to have you here.
Yeah. All right. So it's just Celeste and Leonard today.
Hey.
Everyone else couldn't be bothered. Trevor's busy.
Trevor
Alina
had legit
had to
excuse.
take a nap.
Alina could not be bothered.
That's true. We're shaming her right now.
Shame.
Because, we've added her to the podcast and she has yet to be
She
on.
hasn't even been on it since October for our Halloween episode.
I know. We'll get there. That's the thing about having a podcast with friends. The obligation level really dips after a while. And you're just kind of left with a core group of people who are almost dedicated.
We're bonded by marriage. We
Yeah.
have to be here.
She's more bonded by the fact that I always force it on her. So
No. I have to force this on you.
sometimes,
You're
yes,
like, oh my God, I really don't want to do this. And it's like, we're doing it.
that's true. It's a mixed bag. It's a mixed bag sometimes, but it's fun. It's fun.
Consistent content is difficult.
Yeah. All right. So it's another Foreign Film Friday.
And man, was it foreign.
And man, did we have to really pull back on one movie that we will talk about at the end of the current movie.
I feel like
the
we
original.
should talk about that right now.
Should
Because that
we?
was the most interesting part.
Okay. So originally we were going to be watching Rocco, which was an Italian film about a porn star, which
He
we
had
thought was a fake porn star, but it was not.
He had a devil between his thighs.
Let me tell you something.
Quote unquote him, by the way.
This is on Netflix, and quite frankly, it should be on Pornhub.
Yeah. It was like watching porn. We probably watched 5 minutes and
Maybe.
we're like, bye.
Yeah, there was no way. There was no freaking way. It wasn't a movie at that point. And you set up your character and you set up your backstory, but I have watched like documentaries after porn ends. I've watched, what was that one that we watched about the girls?
The girls who were like doing porn.
Yeah, and mind you, those had porn elements into it, but they weren't porn. They were documentaries that were tastefully done. This was not tasteful.
This was just porn.
You were smacked in the face with a giant penis the moment you watched it.
It is the devil.
It was very, very disturbing, and I don't easily
I feel
get
like
disturbed.
They also threw us into an entire porn scene just to start it out.
I didn't understand that. Like, I get setting a scene, but why did they have to put you in that? That made no sense. It was not okay. So that's why we will not be reviewing that today. Because if we
were scared.
More importantly, if we were, we would have to change our entire format. We would have to not put this on iTunes or anywhere else and put it on a adult-only website.
Pornhub.
Basically. All right, but Celeste, what are we actually going to review today?
Well, we went from a dick in the face to, what was Planetarium?
To a ghost in the closet. Because the guy was gay.
No, he wasn't.
Yes, he was.
No, he wasn't.
He was.
He said that it was his father.
He was lying because he kept getting boners. And they were having, like, ghost sex. That's why
I didn't pick up on that.
Yeah, you didn't pick up on that because you weren't paying close enough attention.
It was French noir. I was struggling as much as it.
Anyways, it's called Planetarium, and it features the always incredible. Whoa, what's her name?
Natalie Portman.
Natalie Portman and
Lily Rose Depp.
The up and coming, honestly, because and she's only been in a few things that I've seen personally.
Mm-hmm. But she has now been on this podcast twice.
Yes, I have a special place in my heart for Lily Rose Depp because the very first podcast we did,
Hosers.
yeah, it was a fluke watch called Yoga Hosers. Lily Rose Depp and Harley Quinn Smith. And I loved that movie, and I loved them. And again, she killed yet another role. She was extremely fantastic in this movie. The movie itself was difficult to follow.
Lackluster.
So let's set this up here. This is about the Barlow sisters. Now, these are not real mediums, but there were many mediums at the time that would go around the world kind of scamming people. I don't believe they scammed people. I believe that they actually, in this movie, they had a gift. The little sister had a gift.
Yeah, Kate had a gift.
Who is played by Lily Rose Depp. So they go around the world. They're really well-known mediums, and they end up meeting a movie executive director.
I think it was a producer, technically.
Well, I believe it was a director-producer, if that matters at all.
They had a director on their film. I think
You can have an assistant director direct the film, but you can still be the director.
I think he was just a producer.
Well, anyways.
What does IMDb say? IMDb says he was a producer.
Okay, so he was a producer. His name was Colvin.
No hit show on Broadway.
No, but that's okay. Anyways, so they meet Andre Corbin, who invites him over. They do a seance. He gets choked out by some ghost, and he decides that he's absolutely fantastic.
Who may or may not be his father.
Or maybe a secret lover. Anyways, so he then decides that he wants to do a film about them. It doesn't quite work out, but what ends up happening is Laura, who is played by Natalie Portman, ends up becoming an actress.
Because they like the way she looks.
Yeah, and because Kate wasn't so great on camera.
Kate was just an awkward person in general.
Well, she was a kid, so it's hard
but
to
they got her drunk all the time.
That's true. They did get her drunk.
Different times. It was pre-World War II.
Yeah. But anyway, so Laura and Kate decide to move in with Andre, and what ends up happening is it kind of goes from a normal relationship to kind of a sexual, non-sexual relationship.
Right.
Really, really weird.
Laura has a thing for Corbin, but Corbin loves Kate for her gift.
For her gift, yes. Yes, that's something we should point out.
Yes, no, he didn't love Kate. Kate is a child.
Yes, he cared about Kate, and he used Kate to have seances where he would kind of... She caught them one day holding hands, both of them moaning, because during the seance, whoever keeps coming to him ends up sexually arousing him. She first notices it when they're in their like little pantry area and they do a seance, and she looks down at his pants and sees that someone is caressing him. It's an unusual scene, and at first you just think it's just a close up on his pants.
At first I was just like, okay, we're showing the area.
But then they always go back and show you what he was feeling. Like they have a person that appears and starts doing stuff to him. It does not get too graphic. That's the one thing about this movie, is that there was no graphic part to it. Even though it was technically following a graphic feeling that he was having with somebody. So as we get through all this, Corbin eventually gets ousted from his movie company because of a secret, which if you want to watch it, I will let that secret stay there. And it doesn't go so well at the end.
Let's just say he goes camping at the end.
Oh, wow. I'm so glad I did not say the secret. Oh my God, this is pre-World War II. If anybody wants to try and take a guess what the secret was, because apparently France didn't like them. Anyways.
Right. Let's talk about that. What was this tension that they were...
No,
it wasn't just Germany. It was everyone.
It was everywhere. Everyone looked at Jewish people as well. I just gave away the secret.
He was a Jew.
He was a Jew. Jewish people as like evil. And I'm not well versed enough to know why. But that was a sentiment even in America during that time. So
crazy. Like, we just think about Germany, like, oh, they killed everyone. They hated them.
Yeah.
But everyone hated them.
Yeah. So obviously we just gave away the secret twist. But let's be honest, this was released in 2016, and it has been
out. It is very French Nouveau. You probably will not watch it.
Nouveau, you're right. But it's a difficult movie to get through. Now, when you summarize the plot,
artsy.
When you summarize the plot, it sounds amazing and very unusual, right?
That's why we watched it. We were like, the sisters. Ooh, they're mediums. Yes.
And the ending is extremely sad. There's more than one twist at the end. So we'll leave the other one alone, Celeste.
He was a Jew.
Yes, but there was another twist. Anyways, in fact, we start in the future. In the very first part of it,
We
during
start
the
with
war.
Laura, and
I still don't quite understand the very final scene, but I think that's okay because I was already pretty confused.
So this director, we were talking about this before we started. She's mostly a writer. She's written a lot. This is only her third film that she's directed. That's not really her thing, but she did write some of this film as well.
Right. Well, I mean, okay.
Let's talk about those shots, though.
Let's talk about those shots. There were some very unusual shots, and more importantly, there were very if anybody has ever been to a museum where they've done art house movies, you will know exactly what we're talking about when we say there were singular shots or close shots with like portrait style stops where they were like staring into the camera and it was all black behind them with a singular light to point something out, but nothing was said. And it was like a still life brought to life, which happens a ton in art house movies. Whatever you want to point something out.
And a ton in this movie.
Yeah, and there were also a lot of vignettes put around people.
A lot.
And I'm like,
Another.
Not even well done vignettes, in my opinion.
Another.
And then there were whole dream sequences that were a little just... The one in particular that I think does make it sound like Corbin is being visited by his dad. But that's not what's happening in that moment. He's actually in that dream. And he's in a dream telling somebody else while he's a soldier about how his dad used to take him to look at rabbits and leave him. But the person who walked up to him in the first seance is wearing leather, not wearing a pea coat, which his father was.
This is true. And also the person in the seance, the ghost.
Whatever he was, yeah.
He definitely
Let's see if we
was
can get some
wearing
clarification.
Leather gloves.
Maybe somebody has said who exactly it was.
Who the ghost is.
Corbin, look ridiculous, director, drawn Laura, yada yada.
I'm hitting things.
Stop hitting things.
I will not.
Oh my god. Anyways. Okay. No one is giving us that insight. That sucks. Because I really kind of want to know that. I want to know if it was his dad and then his dad was like abusing him all the time, or if it was like someone in the army.
Right. Well, they said that it's not, Kate said, Lily Rose Depp, she said, the dead do not come back because we have unfinished business with them. It's because they have unfinished business with us. So...
And he lied originally saying that it was his brother, and Kate was like, it's not his brother, right? And
yeah.
That was the only kind of hint. And then you have this dream sequence where it's like, it's my father. My father used to take me to blah, blah, blah. But I don't think that he was describing who was seeing him as much as he was talking about somebody. Mm-hmm. Because he woke up to Kate being on fire. It wasn't Kate on fire. It was the camera on fire. But it made you think that Kate was on fire.
I did think Kate was on fire.
And I was like, oh my God, she's very calm for being currently on fire. Me, I'd be like, ah! Ah! Not like, oh my God, it's okay. It's okay.
She was like, help.
Yeah.
Okay, girl.
Yeah. Anyway, so... the one thing I do want to point out, some of the good points in this movie, and the reason why I would slightly suggest people watching it. It does have a decent plot. The plot is there. It flows a bit. I mean, it's not like a river. Movies should be like a river. It flows straight through. You shouldn't feel like there are so many diverging paths that you can't figure stuff out. I mean, there should be forks in the road, but it should always feed back into the main river. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It should always come back. This movie tends to have tendrils. I think of it more like a stream. It trickles through very slowly. And then it goes down these little things where it kind of disappears, but then bam, it reappears, but it never gets back to where it started until the very, very end.
Yeah.
And I have kind of an issue with that because I like to be invested in characters. I like to be invested in the plot. I like to be taken away. Instead, I was sitting there going, okay, this is an hour and 45 minutes, but it's been 5 hours. So I think Netflix messed up on how long it's actually going to be. So just go into it if you want to watch it, knowing that it's going to be super artsy. If this is the first time you've ever watched an art house movie, an Art Nouveau movie,
Good luck.
this is actually not a bad one to start with.
No,
and the reason
this
I say
is
that,
one of the most tolerable ones I've seen.
Yeah, and
we're not big art house people.
there
though.
are no like lamb eye cutting, and if anybody gets that reference, I'm sorry. I'm sure you have forgotten about it, but if you went to film school, you know exactly what I'm talking about, and you had to watch a lamb's eye being cut open with a razor blade, and that wasn't fun.
And at least this had a story.
And it did. It had a story. It had a pretty decent story, and more importantly, it had a beginning, middle, and end, and that's the whole point, right? That's the whole point of a movie.
No dissections here, friend.
Yeah, and you can kind of come in and out of the movie and still understand what's going on. I know I did.
Me too.
Mind you, let me say this, though. I've been super into movie poster art recently.
This is beautiful.
They got some pretty movie posters. Like, oh, my God. I really do enjoy that.
It was a pretty movie.
It was beautiful. It was absolutely
because
beautiful.
it was set in the 30s, so you have that going for it.
So let's kind of give some critical response on this. So I just took a look at this. So the aggregator website Rotten Tomato, the film has an approval rating of 14% based on 21 reviews. So that's a low review count. Definitely go into this if you're going to watch it, knowing that it's probably not going to be the best movie you've ever seen, but it's not going to be the one you're going to hate. And it's the only French film that's an Art Nouveau film that has enough English in it where you're like, I am not tied to the screen right now.
Exactly. You had a good amount of French, a good amount of English, and then a little bit of Polish.
Oh, yeah.
In the
a little
middle
bit of
there.
Polish. Yeah, just random.
Random Polish.
Random Polish. All right. Well, there's the movie. I'm going to give it 1 Goldblum. Now I'm going to give it 1/2 of a Goldblum.
I was like, man, that's 5 stars, 1 Goldblum.
Yeah.
Really?
I really had to think about that for a second. I'm like, it's not quite half of a Goldblum, but it's half of a half.
I loved the people in it. I just wish that the story was stronger.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
I
the
love
actors
Natalie
did a fantastic
Portman,
job.
the guy who plays Corbin. I don't know who
Emmanuel Salinger?
He was great. I loved
I think
him.
that's his name. Hold on.
Lily Rose Depp, she's a gift.
Cool.
She's so young.
She is.
She's 18. She's so young.
Oh, she's not that young.
So young.
I mean, younger than you and I.
Which is so young.
Yeah,
correct?
Emmanuel Salinger, which he's an amazing actor as it is.
Yeah. Like, you had good actors in this film. You had interesting cinematography, artsy.
Yeah.
But I just wish there was more of a story there.
Yeah, and honestly, there are a ton of great French films out there. Not all of them are Art Nouveau. Not all of them are art house. And if you want to watch a French film, don't start with this one. I would definitely start with something else like Trippets of Belleville or really anything that is just more of a fun story. But I will tell you this, the French know how to do love stories.
They really
They
do.
do.
I
They have a
didn't-
backdrop for it.
I didn't even know that this was a love story till the end.
Yeah, there were some weird moments in it, honestly. Like when she threatened to leave, but then decided not to, which kind of felt very how you would do it in like the 40s.
Yeah.
Where it's like, I'm going to leave you, but I love you. Never mind, I'll stay.
I'm here.
Okay, well, that was a really easy give up there.
Let's give it up for these Americans that knew all of this French.
But seriously. Oh. So,
Well, yeah.
that was a decent one. And you know what? For only 2 people reviewing it, it's kind of good because we got through that. And it didn't extend into the midnight hours. If we would have had, I don't know, that blowhard Trevor here. I'm sorry, Trevor. I love you.
But we love Trevor's mom more.
Yes, we do. All right. So we've been watching. I've been trying to go to the movies a lot more recently. Been trying to use that movie pass. We've
I
seen.
still haven't gotten mine.
Yours is on the way though, so it's good.
Sure.
Highly recommend anybody who loves movies get a movie pass. Definitely makes life easier. You know, it's cheap and you can see anything you want. Yeah, going and seeing. Yeah, I'm gonna mention it. Greatest Showman so many times, and I plan on going and seeing it more.
So many.
I'm gonna see it more. If I got off work on time, I would have been going every day
I
after
just
work.
find it very fascinating how every showing is at 2:20 p.m.
Yeah, and I get off at 2. I'm thinking about not taking lunch tomorrow.
Now I get off at 1. Now I can go see The Greatest Showman.
Oh, I would do that in a heartbeat. Oh, man. So, what are we watching right now, Celeste? Anything new? Anything fun? I can't even think about what I'm watching, honestly.
Honestly,
We're watching so much Futurama.
watching a lot of
It's like,
Futurama.
You know, when you get into those kicks that you just rewatch something that you've watched a million times, yet it's still a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. Like you have those those shows, like Futurama. Well, for me, it's Futurama, Family Guy, and South Park. I can put those on repeat and keep those in rotation for a while.
My shows came back. It's no longer The Break.
Oh,
So,
okay.
Modern Family's back. Blackish is back.
You are a lot better at watching new shows than I am.
Only because of Hulu. I can't watch them live, but I'll
Did you hear that Hulu is actually starting to get more subscribers than Netflix?
Well, because they have everything that's live.
Right, and
so people don't have to have cable anymore.
Yeah, and currently Netflix is losing things that Hulu is picking up.
Bob's Burgers. They did that with Bob's Burgers.
Yeah, Bob's Burgers.
All of Bob's Burgers is not on Netflix anymore. It's on Hulu.
The big one right now was One Tree Hill. One Tree Hill was fully on Netflix. It's going to be taken down, but Hulu has picked it up. So I feel like a lot of people are abandoning ship at Netflix.
YouTube used to be in that like struggle, but it kind of feels like they've fallen off.
I think YouTube Red was a failed experiment, honestly. We still pay for it, and that's mainly because I do enjoy not having ads.
I still have ads, so I should probably use your YouTube.
You probably should. It's so nice just to see a video, hit it, and look, it's like the old days.
And they keep showing the freaking trailer for... Is it Insidious?
Yeah,
the newest one?
The newest Insidious.
And I cannot handle that.
Oh my god!
And it's
not that scary.
And it's the non-skip ads. Leonard, I cannot.
Man, that's rough.
Oh
That's
my
actually
God.
very rough.
It's a non-skip ad, and then it's like the ghosts and the spirits, and it's in her house. I know this. The people come to her for help, but now it's different because it's in her house.
To make a mention of a friend right now that has dedicated himself to listening to our podcast, Richard Morales actually wanted me to thank you for recommending Big Mouth.
Because it's amazing and a gift.
More importantly, forcing me to continue watching it. And
it's hard to get into. You're like, wow, I'm watching kiddie porn.
Well, like him and I even talked about it. The first episode is so rough, and then the rest of them aren't.
Yeah.
Like they tone it down 100%.
But you got to introduce it.
That was more than introducing. It was kind of like watching Rocco.
Maybe Rocco calmed down after the
maybe,
intro.
Maybe.
You never know.
Maybe after the whole BDSM porn section.
Yeah, maybe after that it was real calm because it was about him giving up his porn lifestyle.
I don't think it was.
To focus on his wife and family.
I don't even believe he has a wife and family at this point. Oh, man.
You never know.
Man. That was just so rough. Like, why would you do that to, like, is there anything on IMDb? I gotta know. I can't see. Oh, yep, there it is.
Oh.
A behind-the-scenes account of the porn world and its stars as they've never been seen before, and the no-holds-barred portrait of a true giant. Here's the problem. They have been seen before. It's called porn.
But Leonard, you don't see it behind the scenes.
Rocco Siegfried. I just don't understand. I don't understand the need for the first 15 minutes.
Hey, Leonardo Tano was in here.
Who?
Was that you, Leonard?
Oh, yeah, totally. I'm the younger son of Rocco.
Is your father a porn sensation?
Apparently, his name is Rocco. I tell you what, anybody who actually watches that, give us send us a message or comment on our Facebook page that you watched it, and tell us how far you got before you were like, "Oh, this is This is inappropriate.
And
You know
a
what?
pro.
Let me say this though. Celeste and I are the most inappropriate people in the world. I'm like, you have to understand that the group that we have around us are horribly inappropriate. We aren't PC in any way. More importantly, we don't care what we talk about. Yet that
was like
was
pushing the limit. I was like, we can't talk about porn.
like, if you and I were just going to watch it as just to watch a documentary, maybe we may have been able to push through those moments.
I don't know. The first 5 minutes were hard to watch.
They were so awkward. It's like you don't want to watch porn with someone in the living room, just sitting there going, "Yes, that was an interesting scene. The way they did that." So, how long is it? It's been 2 minutes. Why is it still going?
I'm going to need me an intimate setting. I'm going to need to be in a bedroom or something.
I don't need to not
I don't
be...
want my dogs laying on me. I don't want my children to be there for that.
You just I don't understand. But you know what? If you're totally okay with that stuff and you want to watch a documentary about porn, go for it. But I would highly recommend watching porn after porn ends.
That one's such a good one.
It breaks your heart.
These
It
poor
honestly
people.
does. Or the one that I cannot think of.
Hey, I bet
That
you
one was way better,
if
though.
I look up porn on Netflix, it'll pop up.
It'll be like, we don't have any, but here's Rocco, a documentary. Sure it is, Netflix. If that's how you sleep at night, you tell yourself whatever you want.
Hot Girls Wanted.
Hot Girls Wanted, yes. That is absolutely incredible. Heartbreaking.
Yeah. It was young girls who go into porn.
Yeah, it's sort of like getting conned into doing porn. And there's one part of it that still kind of haunts me. One of the girls apparently had a very rough day. Like something happened on set. She didn't want to talk about it on camera. She didn't want to talk about it to anybody. But she was normally the more chipper person in the house. She was just distraught and broken after that. Mm-hmm. And to me, that tells me, wow, something major happened, because it was such a shift in the documentary. These girls were so hopeful and thought, oh, I'm going to do this for a little bit, but then I'm going to move on. I'll have all this money and I'll be fine. Mm-hmm. But most of them were like, I'm not making any money. I'm barely making anything. I'm just doing it because now this is the only thing I can do.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, damn.
Those poor babies.
It's in the ticker.
They were babies.
They were all so young.
They were barely adults.
Ugh.
And it's like, you've just done with
now
high school, you little precious angel.
That's a real documentary.
Oh, yes.
Oh, man. We watch a lot of weird things. You got to understand. Before we started doing this podcast, we would watch weird things.
So this is nothing new.
No, we're just now talking about it openly.
Welcome to our life.
With very little judgment, except
you
for
are
judgment
living
each
in
other.
it now.
Yeah, don't want to do that.
You are living in it.
I don't know if anyone's actually listening to us anymore, because you and I tend to ramble.
We do ramble.
But you know what? That's what we do. As a married couple, you ramble. You've earned the right to ramble. When you get married, it becomes this moment where you don't have to impress somebody anymore, and you don't even have to listen. You just have to talk in the same room as them.
Exactly. That it's like, there, we so socialized. We're
We
good
interacted.
now.
We live in the same house. We sleep in the same bed. We see each other. Once in a while, we're like, hey, good talk.
How you doing, kid?
That's
that's good.
That's basically all we do. So
We also created a Sims
version yes.
Leonard did a great job. The likeness of ourselves.
I spent many years alone in a house as a geeky teenager.
Oh, so
I
sad,
became
honey.
well versed in making people that I wanted to be my friends into my friends on The Sims.
Oh my God, that's so sad.
I am kidding. Good Lord,
Oh.
I'm not that sad.
Okay. Well, you
I hope I'm kidding
You didn't
anyways.
have many friends,
I did
so
not.
I assumed.
I did not. So no, you're safe to assume that. No, I would spend a lot of time. My sister would spend a lot of time on it. I usually love doing more of the building the houses than building the Sims. But when I would really sit down and focus, I could basically make anybody in The Sims.
We definitely have our likenesses.
Yes. So.
But he gave my sim a job, and I don't want a job. I just want to motherload all day, every day.
So
I don't want to work
I'm
anymore.
I'm living out one of my fantasies, that being that I'm not the only one that makes a lot of money.
You still make more than I do.
For now, we haven't even played it that much. You can't assume that that's the way it's going to be. Inequality can't be in the Sims world too.
A mail clerk.
Well, yeah, because your whole thing was, I want to be rich, so we had to start you
So
in a
I
company.
can motherload it, and I could be so rich.
Not the same thing. You got to earn it. You
No!
got to earn it.
I don't want to earn it. I want to win the lottery and be
That's
rich.
not going to happen, no. I mean, that doesn't happen in real life. Why would it happen in there?
Because I want my virtual reality,
Honestly,
my simulation of my life.
That
to
is
be
not
what
a
I
simulation
want.
of your life. That is a simulation of your dreams.
I have a pink pool. I should not have to work.
I'm so sorry to anybody who's hearing this. I believe we've gotten off our whole reason for this podcast, which is
Planetarium.
movies.
We watched it.
We talked about Planetarium, Celeste. It's fine. It's fine. We can shoot this horse now. Oh my God. I believe we have.
Kill it dead.
Oh, dear God. I believe we have mentions to do, and Trevor.
Thanks, Trevor's mom. I checked. It's
Oh.
Trevor's mom.
Well, I know it's Trevor's mom, but we have to say the name.
I don't think I know Trevor's mom's name.
Well, that's the whole point of this. We're supposed to know. We're really bad. We're bad at this.
And we met Trevor's mom, but I just called her Trevor's mom.
Wow. We apologize to Trevor's mom.
I do not apologize.
My
That is
paid post.
your item.
Oh, we were supposed to be paid posts in there. Well, oops. Oops.
It's going well.
I'm really bad at saying people's names.
I think it's Adrian. No? Adrian!
Anyways, we thank you. And we thank anybody who's willing to head over to our Patreon page.
And we hope you're recovering well, Trevor's mom.
Oh, yes, indeed. All right. Yeah, that's it for today. Sorry.
Let's just wrap it up.
Let's just end
Call
this.
it quits.
I think DTR is done.
The end.
No. Never.
We killed it.
We're never ending this. This is going to my
We'll
grave.
do this to our 90s.
Honestly, I enjoy it too much. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. More importantly, I hope you have a wonderful part of whatever time of the day it
Blah,
is.
blah, blah, blah.
If
Thanks if you're still here.
you're still here, wow. You probably
You're
shouldn't
very
be.
impressive. Gold
You're-
star.
You're really just you're a trooper.
Let us know if you
Well
made it all the
done.
way through.
Yeah.
We'll send you a gold star.
No, we won't. We won't do that because we don't know where we could get a gold star.
I know school supply places.
Yeah, but you already made a joke that was inappropriate. Now we're going to send stars out, and I don't want to be associated with that.
I'm missing what you're saying,
That's
but
good.
okay.
All right. End of the podcast. Here we go. Thank you so much for being here. And remember to head over to our Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or to our Patreon page if you'd like to. Patreon.com/direct-to-review if you would like to. You can get this episode early and other episodes early and a special episode made just for you, the Patreon.
And if you're like a super legit Patreon, you can talk movies with us.
Yeah, that'd be a lot of fun. We'd love to talk to you. So
So that
head on
when
over
our
there.
other people bail on us,
We
you're
cannot
not
just
stuck
sit
with
here
us.
and talk about The Sims, which we did. All right, everyone. Have a great evening, morning, or afternoon, or night, or whatever the hell. And we'll talk to you later.
Doodles.
Bye-bye.